So the PlayStation 5 has better capabilities than its main competitor, the Xbox Series X, when it comes to this feature. But it's 2021, and will you care about it? That's the question. Let's get into it.
Skip it up and that up.
So the good news is, as of now anyway, it doesn't seem like the extra compute performance that the Series X has compared to the PlayStation 5, at least at this juncture. I sound like El Presador, but whatever, I'll use that word. It doesn't seem like there's going to be a big gap in performance. It kind of seems like the PS5 and Series X are trading blows. Now, who knows, maybe a year from now it'll be different and we will see noticeable gains in performance across the board on the Series X. But right now, the performance delta doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal. But if you still use optical media to watch movies and you like watching 4K Ultra HD Blu-rays, I got some news for you. You may want to pick up a PlayStation 5 before you pick up a Series X. Or if you're just really watching movies, you may want to not pick up either console and just pick up a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray player, but whatever. Anyway, this comes from PSU.com. They actually got this information from one of my favorite YouTube channels, HD TV Test, and they found out some interesting stuff. Like I said, if you're using your console also to watch movies in your 4K Ultra HD home theater, you may want to go with Sony. This comes from PSU.com. I'll read you a little snippet and then we'll discuss. YouTube channel HD TV Test has put the PS5 4K Blu-ray drive up against the Xbox Series X's version, and the results are pretty conclusive. Sony's console offers a better experience than Microsoft's latest home console in regards to 4K Blu-ray playback. The comparison test goes into a lot of detail, revealing a number of interesting advantages for the PS5 users. For starters, there's high chroma bandwidth on Sony's new home console, with the PS5 rendering gradation smoother than the Xbox Series X's 4K Blu-ray player. Elsewhere, PS5 outputs a 12-bit YCbCr444, while the Xbox Series X offers only 10-bit RGB. In addition, Microsoft's console skips a couple frames, I've noticed this, when skipping ahead or behind, and is known to mishandle pure 24 FPS Blu-rays. I've noticed that too. Now, what's interesting about this is that the HDMI 2.1 port on the Xbox Series X, as of now, has higher bandwidth than the HDMI port on the PlayStation 5. It has 40 gigabits per second of bandwidth, whereas the PlayStation 5's HDMI 2.1 port, which has its HDMI chipset made by Panasonic Semiconductor, whereas the HDMI 2.1 chipset inside the PlayStation 5 is made by Panasonic Semiconductor and Nuvatone Technology, and supposedly that chipset is only capable of handling 32 gigabits per second of bandwidth. So it's a lower bandwidth as of now. Maybe they could update it with a firmware update, a lower bandwidth HDMI 2.1 port compared to the Xbox Series X's. So you would think, according to the specifications of the HDMI 2.1 ports on both of the 9th gen consoles from Sony and Microsoft, that the Xbox Series X would handle 4K Ultra HD Blu-rays better. But apparently it doesn't. Bandwidth be damned. Even though it has more bandwidth, it doesn't make the movies look better. They actually look better if you're using an Ultra HD Blu-ray on the PlayStation 5. Now, if it was 2011 or 2010, would this be a big deal? Yes. But even back then, people were renting more movies digitally, streaming movies digitally, so it was already subsiding. Now in 2021, most people are just going to, even if they watch movies on their consoles, they're just going to download a Netflix app, a Hulu app, or the YouTube app on the Series X or PlayStation 5 and call it a day. And that's it. So in the end, I don't think this is a big deal. What I do think is a big deal is the limited bandwidth in general of the PlayStation 5's HDMI 2.1 output. Now, if that's just a baked-in hardware limitation that they can't update with the firmware update, I guess at least this current iteration of the PlayStation 5, if you're looking to get the full bandwidth HDMI 2.1 experience, you're SOL. Technically, even the 40 gigabit per second bandwidth of the HDMI 2.1 port on the Series X isn't full fat HDMI 2.1. So we'll see what happens with that. But it's just interesting that the less capable HDMI output of the PlayStation 5, at least for now, it's less capable, actually is better at playing Ultra HD Blu-ray movies. So if that's your thing, go for a PlayStation 5. Most people probably won't care, though. It's still interesting to talk about. You would think that both of these consoles would be able to play 4K Blu-ray movies no problem and play them just the same, but I guess not. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one. Hey, if you enjoy my content, consider becoming a Review Tech USA member. I'll have a link below in the description. I live stream now on this channel all the time, and it gives you access to cool emoticons to use as well while I live stream. Again, link below in the description. Thank you for your continued support.